What's good, YouTube? And welcome to some of y'all taking your picks not being in Bonanza way too hard. What the heck is going on with Jowgen? I know people have also said, oh, Royal Oppression, Dust Shoot, Metamorphosis, as if there's not gonna be a Bonanza 2 with the outreach poll and Konami asking for opinions right when the set was releasing. Jokes aside though, you can still get a Jowgen for around $1 to $2, although many quantities have gone down even further as people go, alright, I'm just gonna build my deck for Dragon Ruler hat format or wherever this is being played. And I do know spellbooks actually were bought out specifically for hat format recently. Let's go ahead and talk about more relevant things though with the current and upcoming metagames. For Malice, we see that Firewall Dragon, Ghost Rare, as well as Ultimate getting targeted. That nice updated errata for not having to go, oh yeah, the card actually does this, here's my written translation, taking up times in the duel. So the Ghost Rare is one of the nicest versions for that with the alternate art. I've called the Ultimate Rare undervalued for a good amount of time, and it has been consistently coming up here and is now $22 to quickly $25. Also, this was brought up by the Discord and I would have missed it. Starliege Photon, I believe is for Ryzeal or however you say that deck's name. I'm a YouTuber, I'm gonna murder them when I haven't heard them pronounced. But the ultra rares have been going, and then there's the different color blue, purple, green versions of this card that aren't as targeted and are very cheap, which you might want to get sooner than later using this TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. Because this does something very important, and that is protect your board. So let's go ahead and click a more budget version. This reads, 2 level 4 monsters. If this card is XC summoned, you can special summon 1 photon monster from your hand, but we're going to ignore that a little. While this XC summon card is on the field, your opponent cannot target monsters you control with 2,000 or more attack with card effects. Also, they can't be destroyed. So board breakers that would be wiping, ultimate slayer, etc., they are not able to take care of your board pieces, limiting options that have to deal with your boards. Now, against Ryzeal is also Flying Sea, which the holo version and only holo version so far is getting bought out. Of course, this is good against XC summoning and prevents them from doing so, meaning they have to link up and then go into it, and you can hit certain choke points against that deck. Salad's been the talk of the town lately, and with that, Salamangreat Raging Phoenix only has its one printing in a legendary duelist pack, let's be real, that nobody wants to be opening. Thus, this continues to go up for about $48. Maybe something to look for on clearance Black Friday with shops, considering this is already under a $30 booster box. You could keep your eyes peeled around some sites that still have it stocked, because the solid cards do keep going up, but it still might not be worth your money versus the terrible pull ratios. It's just funny that, hey, I could have 2 boxes and have some fun versus buy the singles. You don't know what you're getting in the box. Kitchen Dragonmaid, the eternal rivals on Market to Watch. It is getting bought out heavily for the secret rare, lowest listing $38, huh? And then nobody wants to be playing gold rare, double sleeving all of your main deck mandatory for how thick these are, at least in my opinion. I wouldn't enter a tournament without double sleeving these, where they're just so thick that a judge would be looking through your deck to see if he could tell where it is, or she. But seriously, when it comes down to it, I feel like this is probably going to get looked up in the next one, although if they're not selling the alt art, maybe it doesn't fit the theme, or they try to tie those sets together. We'll have to wait and see. Rage of the Abyss is kind of getting slept on as Bonanza comes out, and we see some cards going up in value, but mostly a lot of down in value and chilling out, and quantities coming back up. We've pointed out a lot of buyouts that have been happening, but the set for the most part is finally settling, and a lot of the set itself outside of the QCRs and Dominus Impulse Fulos is getting cheaper by the day right now, but we are in that cool winter market. However, people are reaching back faster than ever and preparing for that WCQ season, and we see Perulia continuing to go up. This would be a great option for a spring reprint set to sell something, since it is a little bit older but not much, and we have seen Konami reach further and further into those pools to sell a spring reprint set. So do keep that in mind. No guarantees, that's pure speculation, but this card continues to just go wild. QCR buyout mode, where there's only a couple of cheap ones left here, with pictures granted to the sellers, before it is $300 freaking dollars, just like Fulos. And we see that the secret rare itself has mega climbed up here recently, up towards $80 plus. So I had mentioned already that you would want to get it for the competitive season if you were in, and it pretty much doubled from its low, because it was down into the 40s at one point and has non-stop spiked back up since. Now, speaking of down, Fiendsmith Engraver still is. It's trying to cling towards $50, but has fallen under there and is around 48, 49, but then taxes, etc. if you're ordering online. So be aware that this deck that was the deck is now an option of a deck, but is still a very strong option, and people are paying very much to play it. Quarter Century Bonanza, I feel like we've talked about a lot of different angles on the set. I did a deep dive in the last video. I just wanted to cover that there are still buyouts churning within here, as well as shakeups on the front page. I did call Upstart Goblin, which we already talked about. Allure of Darkness has now come towards the front page. Somebody in the comment section was like, nobody's talking about this one. I did. I said that A, I never bet against draw cards, but B, I also said that I felt like Ultimate Rare is still king here, but this is a nice option. And again, Malice around the corner is probably going to want to have access to that card. I actually wanted to go from the angle, though, of best selling in the set, and Blue Eyes interestingly makes this front page very fast, but it's mostly talents. SP Little Knight Allure is up here too recently, Totally Awesome, which we covered the buyout on as well. Caius for the past formats is doing well. And then Polymerization here, I think I have a page, yes I do, where I wanted to talk about how much I love these sets specifically just for this. You can get the secret rare, nice, brand new altar art under $2, and then the QCR if you want max rarities 25. This is an awesome balancing act that I love from these sets, where there's an in-demand version that vendors and collectors, they can hunt down, they can make margins, whatever. But then if you just want the art, here's this version. Although if you want the lost art, you're waiting for Konami to eventually get around to this one 3-5 years from now. Jokes aside, this set has a lot of high-end selling behind those meta staples, and this is what a good balance looks like. I am seeing vendors still bail from the set on Facebook as well, and sell it at a slight discount versus what I would expect the set to sell for. So a lot of vendors still jumping ship with how these singles have panned out at the top end. They're under my expectations for a lot of them. I thought a card would likely in the first 3 weeks pop up to 100, and while we still have time for that, and there will be Black Friday as well, probably promotions with TCG Player that they usually do, I'm not holding my breath that anything actually sticks the triple-digit landing now. I definitely am blown away by how cheap BLS has gone, but GOAT's no longer king. I felt like it had other places in past formats, though, and I did not expect to see the lineup of Blue Eyes and Dark Magician Girl take another set, although I guess that one should have been obvious to me. I did call that I did think DMG would be towards the top of the set, though, for this specific art, and it is holding above the others. Signet Mining is the final buyout that I wanted to cover. Again, this goes with Cyber's goodness. It's gonna get you what you want depending, and multiple decks are actually looking at it right now that we talked about in this market watch. So be aware, $24, $25 for the Quarter Century Secret Rare, but you have the easy access versions and different rarities that you could want as well. Thanks for watching today's market watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the conversation. Trying to keep it a little more timely today for middle of the week.